Today we're going to touch on a subject of a Fujifilm X-T3 and why I think it is probably the best purchase you can do in 2022. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Florian. Every single new subscriber, welcome guys. Fantastic to have you here on the channel. So as mentioned already, today we're going to touch on a subject of a Fujifilm X-T3 and why I think it is probably the best purchase you can do in 2022. And this purely comes down to the price. The price at present of recording this video, the price retailers at £900, and I'm gonna leave a dollar sign here as well, so you got an idea how much the body only will cost. If you would buy the 18 to 55 2.84 as a kit with the X-T3, then the retail price is around £1,200. And this means basically you get a kit lens, the 18 to 55 for £300, which is absolutely a bargain. So price wise, £1,200 for the whole setup, a good decent lens plus a camera body. You can't go wrong with it. And if you look at the specs of a Fujifilm X-T3, and we're going to touch on this in a minute as well, you would pay at least double the price or even more if you would go with a full frame alternative, which offers the same specs as the X-T3. What do we get for £900 or £1,200 if you would buy the X-T3 in a kit? You get 26 megapixel, which is probably plenty of resolution for a lot of us. The majority of time when we're uploading images, it's probably to social media. So the question will be, do you need 40 megapixel? Do you need 100 megapixel? More or less, what is the right amount of megapixel? You can shoot great images on 12 megapixel or 16 megapixel. Your iPhone, I think, shoots 8 megapixel, 12 megapixel. So 26 megapixel will be definitely plenty of resolution for many of us. Then you got the ISO range of 80 up to 51,200. You got the tilt screen, which is fantastic for photography. You can tilt it up, you can flip it out. Very handy to have a tilt screen for photography. You got good ergonomics, even if the hand grip of the X-T3 might be a bit small sometimes. However, you could add the additional grip to it, or even the battery grip, which will extend your battery life as well. Touching on a battery, you got a decent battery life of around 350 shots with the X-T3. The batteries are cheap nowadays. You get two batteries and a charger for 20 quid off Amazon. So easily you can swap out the battery. Got a few spare batteries, so battery life isn't an issue at all. And overall, photography wise, I'm a big fan of the X-T3, how the X-T3 works for photography. Tilt screen, you got your ISO, shutter speed and aperturing all on your fingertips. You can change settings on the fly. So very easy to use for photography. With the Fujifilm X-T3 you also get fantastic video specs, such as like 24, 25, 30 frames per second in 4K. You got 50 and 60 frames per second in 4K with a slight additional crop, which isn't a big deal. So you just need to make a step further away if you want to have the same framing, like with the 30 frames per second in 4K frame rate as an example. You get 120 frames per second in full HD. You got 420 color 10-bit output or internal recording, and Fujifilm used to be one of the first cameras, or the X-T3 used to be one of the first cameras who offered 420 60 frames per second 4K internal recording. So you got all specs you need on a filming site for social media, for Facebook, YouTube or any other social media platform. So plenty of resolution, plenty of choice to record whatever you want to record. You can shoot 120 frames per second in full HD, and I personally use still a lot 120 frames per second full HD as well in my videos, and you barely can tell a difference when you watch it on your phone or you want to watch it on your laptop. So therefore the video specs are still very good even in 2022 to hold up with the bigger cameras or bigger brands, so you won't miss out for another 1 or 2 years at least, because most of the content we film will go on social media. Therefore you don't need to worry that you miss out on those specs. Autofocus is with the X-T3 fantastic as well. I never had any big issues when I done photography to struggle to hit my focus, to find my focus. Of course there will be situation when your subject is backlit or something like that where the autofocus might struggle slightly, but this also comes down to your lens selection, what sort of lens you shoot. How did you set up your autofocus menu? Did you customize your autofocus setup? Are you using eye detection, face detection? So the X-T3 offers a lot of range, how you can customize your autofocus, what you want to do, how fast is your autofocus meant to be, do you want to have it a bit more speedy, do you want to have it a bit slower? So therefore the autofocus is still very good as well. Another big advantage point is definitely dual card slots. You can have one card as a backup, you can shoot to both cards at the same time, you can have one RAW card, one JPEG card. Those card slots take in UHS 2 cards or up to UHS 2 cards. You don't need to, but having the option of using a UHS 2 card to record 400 megabytes when you film is definitely an advantage point. So also to have a backup if you wanted, if one card would crashes or if something has happened to one card, you always got a backup. Another advantage point is an alloy weather resistant body. Always good to have a weather resistant body right now if you might get surprised by a snowstorm, bad weather, rain or whatever you might want to do. You just need to keep in mind that the older lenses from Fujifilm aren't all weather resistant, but if you buy the newer versions such as like the Prime versions, F2 versions, they are all weather resistant as well, and all newer lenses which coming out from Fujifilm will be weather resistant as well. So having a setup with a camera body and a lens, both are weather resistant, is fantastic. You don't need to worry too much when it starts raining, or let's say, I don't know, something has happened, the weather changes and you run into some snowstorm if you want to. Always good to have a weather resistant body, and it gives you a peace of mind as well. And this brings me already down to my last point and final point. New lenses coming out from Fujifilm. 33mm f1.4, 23 f1.4. So you get faster autofocus, better high quality images because the lenses are newer, more high technic, manufactured if you want to call it like this. So having newer glass, faster glass will improve your old camera as well. Gives you better autofocus, gives you better image quality. So keep this in mind that newer glass will benefit your older body as well. And I'm looking forward to what Fujifilm will bring out this year on glass as well. And I got my eye on a few lenses as well, but this is a completely different subject. So those are my 7 points why I think the Fujifilm X-T3 is still a fantastic camera in 2022. So guys, I hope this video was helpful to you and those 7 reasons make sense to you. I'm a big fan of the Fujifilm X-T3 and I don't see any need to upgrade the X-T3 when it comes down to photography. I rather invest in some upcoming glass for my photography. However, videography might be a completely different story. However, if this video was helpful to you, hit the thumbs up button, like, comment and subscribe to all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you, my friend, very soon in another video. Cheers guys.